You ever come across an idea that's so big, but it's laid out so perfectly, so simply? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today with Psalm 19. It's this ancient poem that, believe it or not, builds a case like a brilliant modern three-part argument. It's really something. Let's get into it. Right out of the gate, the poem starts with this absolutely epic cosmic statement. It doesn't ease you in with a quiet little thought. Nope, it feels like a shout from the entire universe. This line just sets this huge, majestic, awe-inspiring tone for everything else that's about to come.
Okay, so this is Act 1. The whole focus here is on the heavens, on creation itself. The poem is basically arguing for what you might call general revelation. The idea is that there's a message being broadcast to every single person on the planet, no matter what, whether they've ever seen a holy book or not. It's totally universal.
And the writer really wants us to get that this isn't some one-time announcement. Creation is always talking 24/7. This whole day after day, night after night thing, it's meant to drive home that this is a constant, non-stop broadcast coming from the world all around us.
Now here's the really cool part, the central paradox of it all. This message has a global reach, right? It crosses every language barrier, and yet it's completely silent. There are no words, no sounds you can actually hear. It's this incredibly powerful statement that's communicated just by looking, by pure observation.
And to make this idea less abstract, the sun gets called up as the star witness. And just look at the imagery here. The sun isn't just a hot ball of gas. It's like a joyful bridegroom just bursting with life. Or it's a powerful athlete running its race with his unstoppable energy. It's such a brilliant way to show the life and strength behind this silent message.
And here it is. This is the bottom line for this first section. Just like you literally can't hide from the heat of the sun, the poet is saying, no one can escape the reach of this silent testimony from creation. It's everywhere. It's for everyone, and you just can't avoid it. So this leads to a fantastic pivot in the poem. A silent, universal message is amazing, but it's also kind of broad, right? It screams power and glory, but what about the details? Where do you go for specific guidance? The poem totally sees that question coming and uses it to set us up perfectly for Act 2. And now, the camera lens, it just zooms in, like way in. We go from the massive, sprawling cosmos all the way down to a written text. The poem completely shifts gears from the silent, universal broadcast of nature to the clear, specific message you find in God's law. This is the jump from that general revelation to what you'd call specific revelation, a direct, word-for-word communication. You gotta love how organized this section is. It just lays out this series of parallel statements, almost like a chart. On one side, you have a quality of the law, and on the other, you have the direct, real-world effect it has on a person. So it's not just a dusty book of rules, it's something that actively revives you, makes you wise, brings you joy, and gives you insight. The structure here is so intentional and so effective. But wait, there's more. Beyond what it does, the poem talks about what it is. It has this inherent character. It's pure, it's fair, and get this, it's eternal. So unlike the seasons that change out in nature, this message is permanent. It lasts forever. So, just how valuable is all this clarity? Well, the psalmist grabs two of the most valuable things you could imagine back then to explain. This specific instruction, he says, is worth more than the purest gold and is more satisfying than the sweetest honey right out of the comb. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about how much it's worth.
So this specific instruction, it actually does two things at once. On one hand, it's like a warning system, right? A fence to keep you from falling off a cliff. But on the other hand, living by it brings this incredible reward. It's both a shield and a treasure map.
And that leads us right into Act 3. The argument zooms in one last time. We've gone from the whole cosmos down to the written word, and now we land in the most personal place there is, the individual human heart. So, after all this, how does a person actually respond?
This question right here marks a sharp, personal turn inward. I mean, after you consider the glory of the entire universe and the perfection of the law, the only natural response is to look at yourself. The psalmist suddenly realizes that, the law might be crystal clear, but his own heart? Not so much. There are hidden flaws, things he doesn't even know are there. This realization kicks off a really personal prayer. It's basically a three-part request for inner purity. First, cleanse me from the faults I can't even see. Second,
protect me from the sins I might choose on purpose, and finally, don't let any of it have power over me.
So what's the end game here? It's all about integrity. The goal is to get to a place where you're blameless, not because you're perfect on your own, but because of this prayerful, humble response to everything that's just been revealed in the sky and on the page.
And here it is, the beautiful, magnificent conclusion. The psalmist basically dedicates his entire self, both the stuff he says out loud, his outward life, and all the thoughts swirling around inside, his inner life, all of it, to God. It's the final personal landing that brings the whole three-part argument home.
So as we wrap this up, the psalm just leaves us with this incredible question to chew on. It's laid out these two massively powerful ways God communicates: the grand, silent poetry of the universe and the specific, life-changing clarity of the written word. What's fascinating is it never really picks a winner. Instead, it shows how they work together, leading us from awe to understanding and finally to real personal change. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Which one speaks louder to you?